In this video, we're going to talk about personal hygiene in relation to child nutrition and our kitchens. And before I like to start my day, I like to make sure I am ready for work, able to work, and showing up. So a couple of things to look forward to is when I show up for work is making sure I'm dressed appropriately. That means wearing shirts that do not dangle into your hands, which are your work surface, and wearing clothes that are easily cleanable and have been cleaned before you show up for work. A couple of things. Wedding bands need to be plain. As per food code, you should be taking off any diamonds or any jewels that will have and harbor bacteria. You are allowed a plain wedding band. Also, medical alert bracelets are not allowed in kitchens. So you're going to want to take and have all your medical information, if necessary, with your manager, so in case you have an accident or get sick, they can contact the right people. Another area to be aware of is earring and dangly jewelry. Dangly earrings can fall off into your food and cause a physical hazard. Nobody wants to eat this. So make sure you remove all your jewelry from yourself. Some kitchens allow for necklaces. If you have them and they are allowed, make sure you tuck them so that they don't go into a mixer, KitchenAid, or end up in somebody's food. Again, cautious is the way to go. So if you have any really dangly earrings or jewelry, you're going to want to make sure that you remove them before you start service. Some kitchens allow for stud earrings. If you do have them, make sure you check with your manager, your director, or your school policy or local health code before wearing them. One of the first things you want to do every day is make sure that your hair is put up if you are a female or a male with long hair. So that way it stays up and out of the way. It's easier to work, it's cooler, and your food will be a little more safe because your hair won't be in it. If you are a male that has facial hair, you do want to purchase some beard guards to protect the food again from any hair falling in. Either that or make sure you shave on a regular basis. Hair nets are most likely going to be in your kitchen or facility. They are really cheap. They also make hair nets that are more beauty style at a beauty store. They cost significantly more money, so we recommend getting the good old-fashioned ones. These are a one-time use hairnet. You're not meant to put them in your pocket, take them home, or reuse them. They're supposed to go on your hair for the day and to cover the whole head. When you put the hairnet on, you want to make sure you go around the back and the front of your hair, including your bangs. And it is not that fashionable, but you want to include all your hair so that way that hair will not fall off into the food at any way. This obviously is not kept for later use, and so you can dispose of it. When you're looking at your aprons for the day, make sure your apron has been laundered, that you're not reusing it from day to day. Clean aprons or chef coats are used. And in this case, you also want to make sure that your apron ties are put so that way they're out of the way for mixers or other equipment in the kitchen. Now that I have all my gear on, I can start washing my hands and getting ready for the rest of my shift. These are our tools that we use throughout the entire day. So before I even start washing my hands, I'm going to do a little self-check. I make sure to check my hands to see if there's any scrapes or cuts on them that I need to take care of with bandages or have anything else to be aware of, so I don't get other people sick. I have a couple scrapes today. That will be fine once I have gloves on, but if I was going to handle food barehanded, I'm going to make sure I cover up these in a perfect way, which would be a Band-Aid. So before we're washing our hands, I've done a self-check. My nails are cut short. I don't have artificial nails. I don't have nail polish or anything that can chip off into the food. This is important. Even a clear coat nail polish, although fashionable, can chip off into our food and cause people to get sick or have a not so good dining experience. Now that I've done this self-check and made sure things are good, I'm going to go over to the sink and wash my hands. Now the process for hot washing hands is about 20 seconds in length. 10 to 15 seconds of it is actually going to be scrubbing my hands. Just adding water to my hands does not make them clean, and by just putting soap on them also does not make them clean. So for this hand washing period, I'm going to be wetting my hands under that warm running water. I'm going to be adding soap and vigorously rubbing it for 10 to 15 seconds. The whole time, I'm going to be rubbing my hands together to remove any residual grits, lotions, dirt, anything that's ended up on my hands throughout the day. Now, if I'm going to be going into a bakery and I'm going to be using a large kitchen mixer and I have to scrape to the bottom of the bowl, I may even wash all the way up to my elbow to protect everyone from my hand and my arm in the food. Now that I have washed my hands, I am ready for putting on some gloves. My hands are washed and they are clean and dry. Otherwise, those gloves aren't going on very easy. Gloves are very cheap, they are disposable, and you want to make sure that you're checking the box to make sure there's no damage. Water damage, anything that's dusty or dirty does not belong in a food service kitchen because we don't want to contaminate our food even with our gloves. When you take out the gloves from the box, grab them if you can by the cuff so you don't further contaminate the whole glove. When putting on the gloves, you're going to make sure that you're handling them as little as possible because we are preparing for some food service. So take your gloves by the cuff and put your hands in them. Pull them on by the cuff so you don't contaminate the rest of the glove. You can now use this glove to help you put on the other glove. Make sure you're getting gloves that fit your hands correctly. Gloves that are too big or too small become a problem in food service. Too big gloves leave additional room in the fingertips, which can be cut off when using a knife and end up in your food. A glove that fits properly is a little snug, slides on evenly and easily, and protects your hand. Glove usage, when worn for a continuous operation, can be worn no more than 4 hours before you need to change your gloves or throw them away. Any dirty, ripped, torn, or damaged gloves also need to be discarded, and the hand washing process will start again. Make sure you change your gloves often. It is the best way to prevent you from getting somebody else sick. When removing your gloves, at the end of your turn using them, or when they are dirty or damaged, remove them from the end of the cuff and roll them off your hand. Any debris will stay in the glove, and then these can then go in the garbage can. Try and get them in the garbage can. Sometimes they end up on the side. Rips happen, it's okay. Take off the gloves, throw them away, and you can move on to your next task.